Alright, so just a quick video for the team on when you're doing a descale. We've talked about all the descaling process you go through, and we talked about cleaning the pressure release lines. But there's also some other water lines I'd like you to watch for when you're doing your descale every 6 months. And in particular, at least once a year, we need to probably do a little more detailed cleaning of those. And that's particular in, it's the water lines that run from the water reservoir here down to your suction pump and stuff like that. So the first thing we're going to look at, in particular, it's this line here. It runs from the bottom of the reservoir down. That's your drain line. And then it goes over here to the white mechanism here. I'll pop it out so you can see it. But that's your flow meter. So what can happen here is you can get stagnant water sitting, especially down in here, and that stagnant water there. So this is a brand new line we put on. We revamped this machine so you can see how clear it is. Here's an older line that was taken off. So it's a little yellowish. So if you see, so what we're looking for is once a year this should be cleaned out. So when you and in particular when you start to see a little dark residue building up on the inside of here. So that's where it will start. So it's a really quick thing. You're just gonna pull it off the bottom here. So that is off of this little filter. And so it just pops off. And then make sure your reservoir's empty like that. And then you're gonna disconnect it from the bottom connection on the flow meter, and then you can bring it all the way up. So in doing that, you would just look for that. And so basically you can take these off and then run your cleaning brush through, which is just, you know, with a little bit of soap and water on it, going through and cleaning this. If it is quite dirty, you can remove them and clean the outside, let them soak in a pail of water, and run the brush through there and just clean them out. So the tubes can yellow over time. So this one's dirty on the outside, so it will clean up on when it's clean, but it will still have a little bit of yellowish. But basically what you're looking for is little spots inside, and with some soap and water, when your cleaning brush, that will remove it. So that's the most important one on there. The second thing you want to watch for is, because of our filter system, the carbon, we flushed 2 pails of water through when we put a new filter on, but we can still have some carbon that can come through, and it will collect in the bottom of this reservoir. So you'll see a black residue there in this carbon, and you'll see it building up in the filter here. So if you see over time, you see this is built up. This is easily can be removed. You just loosen your screw here and just pop the top lid off, and then take that out. So this is a little quick release on the top. So you just push in on your line, hold your finger in, and you can remove the water line and the pump and the regulator. So it makes it a little easier. So that would allow you to take it off if you remove this. And just loosen this. And that will allow you just to pop that out. Be very careful when you take that out. And then you can clean it right there. Just clean out the residue and that type of thing. So these are things that wouldn't be at every descale, but it'd be at least once a year you pay attention to that. This water line. And then we already talked about your cleaning. Every descale, you're doing the internal cleaning of the pressure release line here. And then if you're looking back, you may want to inspect the back water lines that come from the back of your suction pump. If you see those are getting a little colored and dark, you can take those off and do the same thing, clean and put them back on. If you're going to take the back ones off also, complete the front ones first, put those back on, and then remove the back ones. That way you know exactly when you're around here looking at the pressure. The flow meter is that you get the hoses hooked up properly here. So this bottom line, this inlet line here is coming directly from the reservoir. This is the outlet that comes out of the top. So you just don't want to reverse those two things. So that's, and then the other thing, as we always do, is while you're doing the descale, is to make sure, clean up all the powders in here and any spare beans. So this is nice and clean for the next 6 months. And that's it. So basically is watch for this line. This should be cleaned at least once a year, because especially this line here, you'll see it this darken up, and that's because the water is stagnant there. So just remove the plug and clean that, and you can easily take this off. That's not a big problem. Put it in the water, soak it, and put it back on, and just make sure these are all back in place, and that's it. That's it for a descale.